The fact that there is no maximum number as of the recording of this video of digital stores that we can create means that we can create a second site on any domain that we have associated with our System.io account. And so even if you do have a digital store already, we can then go to this website tab. We can then go to the digital stores tab. We can give that store a name. And once we have our name, if we click inside this area, System will give us a name, which we can edit if we want, or we can leave the URL the way it is if we like it. We can then click Save. And our new store will then be available. We can click the View command. That store will then be available on the web, even though it has not been customized or edited. That means then that we have our store on the same domain as any previous work that we have done. So if we click on a previous element and we click on the view, we'll see any previous stores that we have created. Now, again, as of the recording of this video, there is no maximum number that you can create, even though that could change in the future. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. We can access our store here in this area, and we can click on it. Because this is a second site, we can customize it in a way that we want. For example, we can click on the Add Product area, and we can create an external link. And we can create links to other elements that we have already on our site. Now, you'll want to have those assets available because you're going to use the URL here in this area to point your site to. You can then customize your header. You can click on top of the header. You can crop the photo and then upload it. Your header will then be fully customized. You can then click Save. We are now ready to go on to the next step of customization. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now, before you customize the look, it's probably a good idea to put your content inside of your digital store. And what we're going to be doing is a number of links that are already on the domain inside of our System.io account. For example, if you don't have a blog, you can set one up. And what you're going to do is to go to your website tab. You will then want to go to your blogs tab. You'll then be able to choose the domain. If you have a domain set up on System.io, you can use it. We're going to put a name to our blog. Now, in this case, what you can do is you can name your blog. And so what we're going to do is we're going to write in the word blog. You can write it in whatever you want, or you can make it so that the blog is actually the path for the entire domain. We're going to use the word blog and we're going to save it. But before we save it, we're going to need to choose a template. And you can choose one of the templates that you think will reflect what you want your brand to be. If you need to preview the template, you can do it, and you can click the preview of the template here. Then you'll be able to see what the template is going to look like. We are going to select a template, and we are then going to click Save. Once we've done that, our blog is now saved. We can go to the ellipsis, and we can view the blog. And our blog is now on the web. We will need to customize this blog in order to make it fit what it is that we are doing. What we need to do now is to add the blog to our digital store, and we will do that in the next video. Okay, so that thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Welcome back. Now, when System uses the word blog, it is basically designed to be an entire website for your home page. So it's important to note. So if you want to have this so that the blog is actually not just a blog, but a home page, you can go into the Settings tab. You can click on Settings. And what you can do is you can make it so that this blog becomes your URL. And what it becomes functionally then is a website. And so you can make it so that it is not just a blog where you write, but it is your entire site. And what we have now done is we have now made it so that our blog URL is actually now our entire home page. We can now copy this home page and we can head to our new digital store. We can go to the website tab. We can go to digital stores. We can now go to our new digital store tab. We can now add in what is called a new product. Now in this case, we're going to be using the external link. We're going to click on external link. What we're going to do is we're going to write in the verbiage to describe what it is that our homepage is. And you can click inside to paste your URL. And once you do that, you can then publish the page. And you will have added your home page to your digital store. We can now go to the View tab. We can now visit our home page. And we'll see our website here. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. System gives us the ability to set up a digital product. We can go to the Product tab. We can then go to the Courses tab. Now, this is not a full-blown tutorial on how to create a digital course in System.io. You will have modules. You will create different modules, and you will create content within those modules. So when we click Lecture, that's going to open up into a lecture theme. We can then click Save, and then our lecture page is going to be ready. We can click on top of that lecture page, and what you'll notice is that there are different elements that we can customize inside of the WYSIWYG editor, including the video. So we can go to the video, and we can either upload the video, we can custom embed it, or we can use a direct link from a YouTube channel. Once we have set our content, we can click Save Changes, and our content is now saved inside of our course. We can now go to the Settings tab and we can activate the course. And our course is now activated. Now that our course is created, we need to create course access. We will do that in the next video. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Welcome back. Now, in order to create course access, we can go in two directions. One is we can make a link available to sell the course. The other we can do is we can give access to the course by allowing an individual to give us their name and email address associated with that course. To do that, what we're going to need to do is to go to the sales funnel page, and we're going to need to create a new sales funnel. If we're going to give the course away, what we're going to do is we're going to choose the funnel goal, which is to build an audience. And so in this case, that's what we're going to do. We're going to choose the set of templates to see to build an audience. The system is going to give you the option to customize a squeeze page and a thank you page together. So you're going to need to pick templates for both and customize them. So in this case, we're going to just choose one, and we're going to click Select. Now what we're then going to do is we're going to give this page a name. We're going to give the URL a specific path. We're then going to click Edit Page. And what we're going to do is we're going to edit the page according to the parameters that we want to set. We need to choose the action that happens when the individual clicks the button. And so we have control over this. What we can do is we can then say that we're going to send the individual to the next step. Now again, this is not a full-blown tutorial on customizing pages. You need to customize the page according to the method that you want. We're going to click Save Changes. And our page is now saved. We're now going to exit. What we now want to do is we want to set an automation rule. And we will do that in the next video. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Welcome back. What we want to now do is we want to set an automation rule. And what we want to do is to add a rule to this page. What we want to do is we want a trigger to happen. And the trigger is going to be based on this specific page. Now you may have seen that we have automation rules that are general and site-wide. That is not the case. This automation rule is strictly based on this funnel. So what we want to do is we want to set a trigger in motion when this funnel form step is subscribed. And so what we've said is that when the individual comes to this funnel and they go through this funnel step, we then want to set an action. What we want to happen is we want to enroll that individual in a course. What we now want to do is we want to choose the course that we want the individual to be enrolled in, and we're going to choose the course that we just created. And what we've now done is we've now made it so that when the individual submits that form, they will then be given access to enroll in our course. We now want to click Save Rule. And so we now have our rule in place. What we can now do is we can now go to the thank you page and customize it. And what we basically want to do is to communicate to the individual that has submitted the form what's now going to happen. And we want to do that on the thank you or download page. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now, one of the things you may have noticed is that the squeeze page we chose did not have a place for your customer to enter their name and email address. That means we're going to have to look at another template, and we're going to have to take a backward step. So we've already set the automation rule, but we need to go back to the step configuration. We need to click on Change Page Template. We need to confirm the change. And there are a few ways in order to do this. We can pick a template that does have a place for your customer to enter their name and email address. And we can customize that template. And so if we know that the customer is going to enter their email address into this form, we will then have that information. We can then click the Submit button. We can customize the Submit and then go to the next step with this button. And you'll see that here. In order to use the page that we selected, you notice here that we have the button and the action of that button. Instead of sending the individual to the next step, what we can do is we want to have a pop-up to happen. System does give you control over that pop-up. And so we can click here and we can click on Add Pop-up. And this is where the individual will actually get their name and email address that we will use in the automation. So we do need to make sure that at this step, we are collecting the name and email address. We can choose the way that we think the customer is more likely to take advantage of, but we do want that to happen before the customer moves on to the next step so that the automation will send them access to the course. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Assuming you've customized the squeeze page and you've set your automation rule, what you can now do is you can get to the thank you page. Now you'll notice here that there's an automation rule associated with the thank you page also. However, we have already taken the step to make sure that the individual gets access to the course when they submit their name and email address. When we are choosing a template, we want to make sure that that's going to communicate all of those instructions to the customer. And so we're just going to edit this page. And we want to make sure that, again, in this section, we let the customer know that they need to check their email so that they will get access to the course. We can say other things that we want them to know about us or about their experience. But it's at this point that this is the last thing that the customer will see before they get access to the email giving them the course. Now you'll notice here on this individual page that there's an element that says subscribe to my newsletter. Obviously, you don't want to have that element on your thank you page. So you'll need to customize the thank you page according to the elements that you want on there and what you want the customer to see. And the WYSIWYG editor makes this fully customizable. You will just make the changes and then save them to make sure that your customer will get access to them. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now we do now have a page that we can place on our digital store. If you click on View Funnel or View Funnel Step here at the very beginning, we will be able to see the page that we're going to be placing on a digital store page. We can copy that link to the clipboard. We can now head to our websites. We can click on Digital Stores. We can now head to our digital store. We can now add a new product. We can add an external link. We can now place that link here in this area. And what we can do is we can name the link. If you want to add in an image, you can add one in here. We're not going to for the sake of this video, but this is something that you can customize with an image. Once we have all the information in, we can then click Publish. And basically what we have now done is we have now added a second link to our page. We can now go and click to view the page. And we now have two links on our page, and one of them allows us to collect a name and email address and then give the individual access to a course that we have created. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.